What's up, everybody? No, ain't nobody here yet, but give it a few minutes. See what's going on. Hope everybody's doing well. I needed a break personally from what I was doing because I feel like my brain is oozing out of my head right now. But let's see what we got going on. I do got a few topics. Disgruntled Octopus, how you doing? Well, I guess it's morning where you're at. It's evening where I'm at. So good morning to you. Good evening to me. But how you doing? How's all going in the selling world over there? I know y'all got a live coming up tonight. Leith, how you doing, Leith? Good evening. Got me all messed up. Disgruntled. I'm thinking afternoon, morning. I don't know what time it is now. How long of a lag you see with sales on Walmart? It depends. It depends, man. Walmart, you can always tell when Walmart is doing some updates and stuff because that's when you'll start seeing that. And I think that was the issue when I kept having those oversells because some of the sales would be days before. So like, let's say for instance, I got all the sales in today. Well, when you look at the sale date, some of those sales was like, so today's the first, right? Some of them would have been like on the 28th, the 29th. So I think I don't even know what it is. And I put in tickets, and if you sell on Walmart, then you know how that support goes. So it really didn't do much. Yep, 2 days last time. Yeah, that's about right. 2-3 days. And they're not going to do nothing about it. I mean, the good news is I didn't have it happen this past weekend, but you never know when it's going to happen, man. And just besides that, I've been noticing some other stuff that just make it, I don't know. What are you going to do, man? What are you going to do? I don't know. Maya, hello. How you doing? Urethra. I don't know why I always say that wrong. Hey, Ash, so good to see you and hear you live again. Of course. And I'm tired. Well, you know what? I don't like using the T word, actually. Let's just say this. My brain is like, I needed a break because I was doing an Amazon shipment and I'm packing up 728 items. The good thing is they don't need much prep. It's just a label. So no bagging up or nothing like that. No poly bags, no bubble wrap. Just slap the label on. But I don't know if you ever tried to prep 700 something items, man. After a while, it gets kind of like, I need something else to do. What support? Yeah, exactly. Hey, you know what's funny about their support? So sometimes I'll get a support request. It'll literally be in like all Chinese or something like that. I'm like, what the heck am I supposed to do with this? I don't even know what you're saying. Yeah. And the support has no idea what they're doing either. They sent me things and made requests for me to do that has nothing to do with me at all. At all. Why does it happen that Walmart oversells your item anyway? Does it add to the number you have in stock? Well, it does not add. So initially, when I started selling on Walmart last year, their inventory did not update at all. So for instance, if I put in that I had 10 and 5 sold, there would still be 10 available, period, right? So you would literally have to catch it before it's sold out, or you put in one less than you have, right? And you just try to hope you catch it before you oversold. Then they kind of fixed it. They did it to where, so like I said in the last video, you have on hand, reserved, and then you have, the amount that you actually think sold or something like that, right? But reserved is when someone, you have some in reserve. Somebody actually bought it. So they made it to where now, if you got 10, someone buys 5, they'll have 5 in reserve, 5 available. That's what I was going to say. Available to sell, right? 5 available. That's been working for the most part. But for whatever reason lately, they'll still oversell and that reserve number will go up even though your on hand number doesn't move. I don't know why. I think, and I was just saying, who was that, Leaf? We was just wondering like how much of a lag is there in sales. I think it has to do with something because for whatever reason the system isn't processing the sale the moment it happens. Some of these oversells are days and days in the head in advance, and they're just not coming through until later. But for whatever reason, Walmart keeps it as available because it hasn't processed yet. So I hope that explains it well, man. It's just weird. Just happened 2 days later. I see the money for sales. Yeah, and I mean, most of the stuff, if I can order it, if it makes sense for me to order off of Prime or something like that, I'll order it. I'll even order off of Walmart, send it to the customer. But if it's going to cost me more than I'm making, I ain't doing all that. I canceled a couple, which dinged me. Excuse me. Support didn't do nothing about it, but most of them I'm able to just go ahead and fulfill the orders though. Most of them. It's actually a couple of them I lost money on, but I don't know. Pain in the yes, it is. Miss Lachey, how you doing, Miss Lachey? Nice to see you here. I appreciate it. All is well and going well. I do have a few topics. I'm going to give it another minute or two. Got 9 people in the house. I can live with that. I got a couple topics that I want to go over though, for sure. Listen, in one word, drop in the comments, guys and gals, how you guys and gals are feeling. I am going to drop a word. All right, hopefully that comes through. I am feeling hopeful. And that doesn't even intimate necessarily that things are seeming hopeless. But if you don't have an expectation of things being better, then why are you doing what you're doing in the first place? It doesn't mean that things are magically going to get better. Doesn't mean that somebody's going to do the work for you. But if you're hopeful, I think it gets that creativity going and helps you figure out a way to kind of overcome whatever obstacles are in front of you. Mike, that's weird. Do you not receive the shipping information for the sales? Until nothing comes through, Maya. Nothing. You don't see it until they all come through at once. And then you'll go through and you'll realize, oh man, I just shipped that order. How I got? And then you keep going and you'll see it's 2, 3, 4 more. Leave. I love. Oh, okay. I love the overpriced error when you just said sold it for that price on Walmart. Yep. It's always good to pivot when I need to. Well, you always got to be ready. You need an out, right? Just in case something goes wrong. Or maybe not even an out, just a plan B or C. And that doesn't mean you abandon your plan A, right? Because you never know. But you also need something that's going to pick up the slack, as is the case with some of the eBay issues that's been happening. Yeah, I would also say hopeful or optimistic. Yeah, you got to be, Maya. You have to be. How you feeling, Miss Lachey and Leaf? What's a word that would describe what's your mindset right now? What's your mindset? So while I'm waiting for that to come through, with eBay, I was thinking about this, right? Some different strategies. So I noticed this past weekend when I decided not to run a sale, and I did this on the Monday wrap up, and I talked about it. Decided not to run a sale on purpose, and I still had almost the same amount of sales, right? So then I've been thinking like, okay, I know John over at Flipping Ain't Easy been talking about certain things, the descriptions, and actually putting a description in the description field, right? I know for the longest time, me personally, I just put my title in the description. For listings that I've been putting up, I've actually been putting a description in there. Even if it's a smaller one, I've been putting a description. It's not a large enough sample size yet to really know how much of an effect it's having. But I figure what I'm going to do is this, right? Optimistic, definitely. Positive, I like that, man. It's a lot of good energy in here. I like it. And optimistic, I like it. Good. So what I was thinking was, all right, look, I'm gonna go back a little bit at a time, and I am going to put real descriptions in my listings that don't have descriptions, which at this point is the majority. Also, for the longest time, I was only using one photo, but I'm going to go back and a few at a time. I'm going to add more photos. I'm going to try to get at least 5 photos up. Okay. And what I'm trying to do is, instead of continuing to kind of look at what eBay's not doing or the issues, I'm trying to see what I can do. And so I know that things like photos, things like descriptions, all these sorts of things will help, whether it's the algorithm or whatever type of traffic, you know, who knows what's going on with the algorithm these days. But I heard something earlier that J-Rod said on one of his videos, J-Rod Flips. He said, essentially what he was saying was a lot of people focus on algorithm and algorithm hacks and how can you hack the algorithm. And if you look around the YouTube sphere, right, that's kind of what people like. If I was to make a video for you guys and I was to put some hyperbolic thumbnail up there that's like, I figured out the algorithm or something like that, I get a lot of clicks, right? I don't know if people will watch it because, I mean, at the end of the day, there's really no hack or no trick. And then I was thinking to myself, what if eBay watches our videos? Well, they watch videos, definitely, for sure. But what if they've seen all these videos about the results people get by just ending and selling similar and all these so-called quote unquote hacks? And what if they kind of put it in the algorithm to notice that and to kind of like shut that down for the most part? I mean, that's a thought, right? And it's not outside the realm of possibilities that they would make it harder because they're like, well, we want fresh items, we want fresh merchandise, fresh products, desirable products. So let's kind of, if somebody's going to just keep on recycling the same product, we want to kind of push that down. So that's a definite possibility. But I also want to give myself the best chance. So whether you look at that listing quality report and they show you ain't got enough photos or you ain't got a good description, I think we need to start going back and looking at those things, man, because you can't really blame eBay until you've done everything that you know they tell you to do. And I think a lot of people kind of take the lazy way out and don't want to do all the pictures or don't want to do the full descriptions, you know, and maybe it's having more of a deleterious effect on us than it used to. Urethra. I haven't been using description much because everything is in the item specifics, but I know the new AI looks at the description, so I'm considering the effort to fix it. Yeah, me too. Me either. I mean, that's kind of the same way that I looked at it. But look, if they're going to be doing it to where the AI can even pull stuff from the photo, right? So let's say, for instance, with their whole vector search thing, if the AI is not only taking into consideration the words in your title or description, but also any words or anything, same way you could use Google Lens with no words, look at an item or like, you know, point it at an item and actually get a bunch of the same or similar items to come up. If it's doing something similar to that, then it would make more sense to have more images available because those images would make your item more, it would make, you know, give you more of a chance for your item to come up during a particular potential buyer search. So it will only make sense to do that. Does it suck? Especially if you got a lot of items up? Yes, it does suck, but you may not have a choice. You may not have a choice unless you just want to keep dying. I will say this, though. I was thinking of doing one of two things, right? One of two things. So Miss Lachey, I've decided to skip all fourth quarter hype and set myself up for a better next year, reviewing, analyzing, and goal setting. It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. And if you're not super dependent upon the sales of fourth quarter, I mean, you might as well. You don't have to stop selling or nothing, but you can definitely look in anything in life. At some point, in all things, you're going to have to stop and go back to the fundamentals, especially when something seems like it's not working. Go back to the fundamentals. So, which leads me to what I was going to say. I was going to try one or two things and see what happened. So tell me what y'all think about this, right? So the first thing, right, on the one hand, you can, what if you don't promote, right? You kill all promotion, but the same amount that you would usually promote, you add that to a markdown sale and or coupon. So let's just say, for instance, let's say you usually promote, let's say 3%, because the majority of people are lower, right? 3%. And then let's say sometimes you run a coupon or a markdown for like 10%. Well, how about you just run a sale for 13% or 14%? I wonder what that would do. I'm curious to see what happened if I did that. But then on the other hand, right, what if I didn't run a sale, but any amount that I would usually run a sale by, I put that into the promoted listing. So if I would typically run a 5 to 10% sale, I add that 5 to 10% to the promoted, don't run a sale. I mean, I still keep best offer on, but it's not like I haven't ran a sale and had promoted and still taking an offer, right? I'm just trying to, I wonder what eBay would show preference to. If you kill promoted but had a higher sale, would they show preference to that, or would they still suppress those listings? Curious to see, man. I'm curious to see. But I do know this. We in November, and at least on eBay, things ain't looking, man, it is, man. It is what it is. But I'm thinking of increasing my promoters either way for the holiday season. So probably dynamic, 10% cap. Said, tried that, did not work. Well, which one did you try, Leith? Did you try killing the promoted and doing a higher percentage on the sale, or did you do it the other way? Did you do a higher promoted but no sale? Almost 0 sale for months. We don't want that. We definitely don't want that. You love learning. I love learning new vocab, deleterious. You're welcome. I'm like one of those weird people, man, that I love words, and it's like painting for me, you know, language. I've been switching shipping. I have been switching shipping in that words. Okay, I see what you're saying. You've been switching shipping. I used to promote heavy, but I don't feel it has the same effect. I think more people have been promoting since start of Q3. Well, yeah, and you know what though? More people are going to be promoting now. So, Leaf, no promoters. I mean, more people are going to be promoting now, going into the fourth quarter, because they want more sales, right? So you have to think. You have to think that if you are one who does not really want to give eBay the money, if you want to see these fourth quarter sales and there's already competition with that, you know, if you don't play in a little bit, you might actually not be able, it might not get much better for you. Price is king. Yeah, I know. Price is king for sure. So that's why I wonder if you kill promotions and run a higher amount on the sale, you know, I think I might just do a mix though. It was just something like, you know, you kind of brainstorm with yourself, and I think the main thing though is that we don't try to change too much too soon, but you got to change something, because it's been months and months. But the change though is going to be specific to each person's situation. So for instance, I'm selling something that's totally different from somebody like Miss Lachey, right? Miss Lachey, you do books and stuff like that. So if she's having issues with sales, then her solution, of course, would be different for me, because I'm in totally different categories. However, that doesn't mean that we still need to figure out something else if the same things aren't working. And for one thing's for sure, listing more is not the answer. Listing more is not the answer if you're already not selling things. I don't think listing more, unless you're listing more of the right stuff, But just to say I'm gonna list another 100 items, well, if you already got 500 and you ain't getting no sales, and you list another 100, I hope those 100 are going to be like really good items, or you're going to have 600 items that ain't selling. So that's something that we all got to consider too, right? Ms. Lachey, I've been adjusting my prices instead of promoting high. I think you're absolutely spot on, especially with the way eBay advertises our competitors. Yeah, I think price is going to be the main thing for sure. And that's another thing that I noticed. And I was kind of figuring out, like, was I going to do a whole separate video on this thing? But this ain't even just eBay. I think I've seen it more on eBay, but it's also on Walmart and Amazon. But those are a little bit different because everybody's on the same listing, you know. But one thing I know about eBay, and I've seen it more on items that I've had sitting lately, price. Once I get that price down to a certain point, and I can attest to this because I got multi-quantity listings that sat, and I just kept playing with the price and going down. It's like I hit a sweet spot. As soon as I hit that sweet spot, and this is how I know it, because when it's higher, and it's not even like outside of the price range, right? It's actually in line with prices on other platforms, but apparently for eBay it's too high, and I would barely get any views. Now, as I bring that price down and down and down, and once I get to the sweet spot, I start getting views, I start getting offers, I start getting sales. And so I've noticed that irregardless of what the price might be going for on other platforms, on eBay, you have to find a sweet spot. And what I think the issue is with some people, they want what they want, and they don't want to put that price up there, right? They don't want to sell it for what the market is actually demanding. They want their own price. And whether you can call it eBay suppressing listings or whatever, they're just not going to show it to people. I think needs items is more important than needs items. I think needs items is more important than wants this next year. And I think you're absolutely right. So the question is, do you need to start sourcing those types or what? Look, let me show y'all something. I'm going to see if I can figure out how to share my screen on here real quick. Yeah, let me see. Share screen. There we go. All right, so I hope y'all can see this. So this is SimilarWeb, right? SimilarWeb.com. And you can go here. There's a paid version that I'm not paying for, but I checked this. Now, I made a video months and months ago. Can't remember exactly what I was talking about, but I was on this site. And I remember at that time, if I'm not mistaken, eBay's total visits was only like 500 something million. So if I'm not mistaken, it's higher now. But look, you can come to this site and I'm only showing this to make a point. eBay's global rank is 41 and 16. The category is 2, right behind Amazon. They got 667.6 million visits to the site, right? As you go down, you see right here, right behind Amazon, but higher than Walmart. Okay. Let me see some. I ain't even going to do Amazon because we already know. And I want to make this comparison for a reason. eBay 41, Walmart 87, global rank. Okay, so eBay's outranking Walmart in that. Traffic engagement, total visits, they got Walmart by almost double, right? Last month change, they've actually went down less than Walmart. Average visit duration, they got more people stay on the site actually longer than Walmart. Pages per visit, they're up on Walmart, right? And bounce right now. Of course, this is for a few different reasons, but still, nevertheless. Audience demographics, you got more males, of course. Now let me go back. Oh man, I mean to do that. All right. If I go down here, you can look at things like gender distribution. Now I know some of you guys don't like numbers and analytics, but I think things like this are important to look at because look, with double the traffic over Walmart, why is it that items that'll sit on eBay for months and months and months at a time, I can still get to sell at a much faster velocity on Walmart? But look, eBay is at the top of the pack. Okay, let me come up off of this real quick. eBay is at the top of the pack. So eBay is not dying. eBay is not dying. It's not like they got way, if anything, they got more. Now I wish I could remember when I made that video, but it was definitely some months ago. eBay's not dying. They still got traffic, and they still are number 2 in the world when it comes to traffic. Highest demographic is men. They're beating out Walmart in traffic. They're beating out Walmart in page durations, things like that. But for whatever reason, for the most part, you can do better on Walmart when it comes to sales than eBay. And I know I don't sell in every category, but I know people who sell in various categories on Walmart. So the issue is, what do you do on eBay if you're still having these problems, despite the fact that there is still so much traffic coming to the site? That's the question. And it may be, and I'm not the first person to say this, of course, because I know John's preached this from the rooftops every week. Maybe the types of items, right? Maybe. Who knows? Let me start to catch up with some of these comments. Added promotions back and sales return. Okay, so you talking about you took out promotions. Yeah, I know James just said the same thing. He called himself cutting off promotions and his store died. So he said he had to turn them back on. Yeah, well, I think I might do dynamic, man. I don't know. I have to, because I don't like to feel like people getting an advantage over me. And I just can't see my competition going through the holiday season and not promoting at a higher rate. I mean, I'm going to cap mine at 10%, but I'm also still going to go back and fix older listings. I'm going to actually add some real descriptions, and I'm going to actually add more than just one picture, And to be honest, a lot of that is due to my own laziness, because I didn't want to take more pictures and I didn't want to be as thorough. But in my defense, and in a lot of our defense, right, it worked at the time, right? I mean, honestly, listen, I can do 30 listings a day like that and still sell 30 a day with one picture and the description being the same as the title. But apparently, it ain't working. Half my items in my store are unpromoted, though, because they're newer, and those are the ones that seem to be selling recently. I mean, if you don't got to promote, I definitely wouldn't promote. For me, eBay is for collectible, vintage, and used stuff. New seal goes to Amazon and Walmart. You got a good point, Lee, because even though a lot of that stuff will sell on eBay, I hate when I'm gated in something on Walmart and Amazon that's brand new that I have, because that means I got to sell it on eBay and the price is nowhere the same. I mean, from a cost of goods standpoint, I'm still making a good profit. But dude, like something that might sell for $30, $40, $50 on Walmart and eBay, or Walmart and Amazon, if I'm gated and I put it on eBay, you got people selling it for $20, $19.99. And I'm just like, what are y'all doing? What is y'all doing, man? Cutting off your nose to spite your face. And you walking around looking all crazy. I think the consensus of most people that I've spoken to lately, too, is that eBay is for more vintage stuff, something else, too. Let me see. I wrote this down about the type of work, because I see a lot of people talking about, well, they just got to put more work in, or they don't want to work. Sorry, they want to get to where they're only working this amount of time or this amount of time. And now we all know that eBay's more hands-on. I think eBay's more hands-on. Look, I'm prepping 700 items for Amazon, but here's the thing. Once I'm done with the prep and I box it up and ship it out, I'm done. That's it. I'm done, right? And it wouldn't be the case with eBay, right? And I don't have to create the listings or nothing like that, which is another reason, if some of you guys and gals watching my Monday wrap-up where I was talking about this year, I'm going to be focusing more on FBA despite my control freak issues and not wanting to, but more on FBA and even a little bit more on Fulfilled by Walmart. I still got some reservations about that, but I'll probably still do a lot of my own orders there. But I think if the price is right, I'm going to still send it into Amazon because it's the only way that I'm going to be able to reach my goals. Now, as far as that working thing, right? I hear a lot of people talk about, and here's the thing. Oh, I only want to, I guess people will brag about they only work 15 hours. They only work 20 hours a week. And I mean, if you can do that, that's fine, right? I think to be able to make a good living off this, whether it's full-time or not, it's not about like if you can do it in 10 or 15 hours. I mean, that comes with experience and getting things together and getting your systems right. But when I left the restaurants, I was doing 50 plus hours a week. So I always told myself, if I did that for somebody else building their dream, I really literally don't think about how much time I work. I just do. If a job needs to be done, I do it until it's done. I don't care because I spent all those years doing it for somebody else. I don't care. I think that it's the wrong mindset to, unless you're doing a lot of work but for very little, if any, return. That's bad. But I'm just saying, like, if you're trying to build something, then the amount of time you put in is not as much of a consideration, especially in the beginning stages. I don't want people to feel like they're doing something wrong if they're working 20, 30, 40 hours a week. As long as you're seeing good results, okay? If you're working 20, 30, 40, 50 hours a week, but you really ain't getting good results, then that's a whole different thing. And you got some things you might have to address there. But especially if anybody's new coming in, like, don't make the goal to only work 15 hours a week. Make the goal to get traction. Find something that sells, stick with it, and work it. You know what I mean? Get your systems right. The time you put in, depending on how big you want to get, will naturally start to go down as you get better at what you do. But don't worry about how fast you listening, how long it take to do this, just get the job done. Do it right. Do it right the first time. The reason I got to go back and fix like 500 listings is because I didn't do it right the first time. I still blame eBay though, because they let it work for me for so long, Now it ain't working. It's crazy. Sometimes I wish I could slap eBay upside the head. You know what I mean? Like a double backhand. Urethra. I love SimilarWeb for when I need a reality check if I'm putting too much effort into a site with less traffic than eBay. I know. Did you see some of those other sites on there, man? Like Etsy and all them? Oh my goodness. No wonder I got stuff that sit on Mercari forever and ever and ever. Even though I do get a few sales of certain things, Right place for that item. It's always about the right place for the right item. Denomaniac, way too expensive, more photos are the way to go. Not sure I know what you mean if you wrote that right. Denomaniac. But more photos for sure. I think more photos are definitely key. And when I was looking at my listing quality report, that is like the area where I am doing the worst is photos. And so I think it's incumbent upon me, upon you. If you're selling on eBay, look at the listing quality report. If you do everything that listing quality report says, and as far as the item specific goes, you, of course, you only fill out the ones that pertain to what you're selling. But if you do everything else and you're still struggling, then maybe, definitely, probably the items, I would say. eBay still has good traffic. They have changed the way they present the items to customers and decided what's hot and what's not, but didn't tell us. Oh, they told us. They told us by not giving us the traffic. Nah, they still got good traffic. You're right about that, Mr. Shea. And did y'all notice the new layout too? Let me see if I can show y'all that. Let me go back to share screen real quick. All right. So let's go to a random listing. Let's go to this. USB microphone. Hey, this is one of my competitors, guys. Bullseye Bids. I got this seller saved. I always watch them. They got a lot of items. But anyway, I digress. So look at the new layout, right? You got the items over here, right? Now, I don't know. Well, I know all of y'all probably shop either on Walmart or Amazon. So if you look at this layout, you can tell where this layout comes from. And where let's just say where it's who it's inspired by. And it's inspired by those platforms. The way that this whole side over here and where the images are, right? Especially Amazon. This is how it's set up on Amazon. Then you got the main image right here, and it changes, right? But now look over here. This whole setup over here is different. Then you have all the buttons right here. And if you scroll down, you got all the other info, the shipping info right here. Then you have similar items right underneath, more related. And then finally, you'll get to the description and then the other seller info, right? And so that whole layout is changed. And I don't know when exactly they did it, but this is definitely fairly recent. So now what does that mean is the question, right? What does that mean? Let's stop that. That means that they are testing things. Now, that could be the permanent layout, which I think that would be, because that's pretty much the same layout as Amazon and Walmart. But if they're testing that, they're testing other stuff too. So I think that's encouraging because eventually they're going to settle on something. And so maybe some of the issues we've been seeing are going to start, kind of going away. And we'll start being able to kind of get back to what, whatever our new normal is. Let me see. Let me catch up. Basically, search is no longer as organic as it used to be for common items. Yeah, I feel like, well, it's not going to be, because especially if they add in the vector images and things like that, it's going to be different. I think it's going to be a while before we kind of get a grasp on how everything works. Lately, you listen to all these other resellers. Before I go there was something else I was going to say. I saw a video and I was trying to find out whose channel it was on, and I couldn't find it again. And they were talking about end and sell similar. And they made a point that end and sell similar. Now, we know that it did used to give you a small boost, right? But they were saying the one thing, the drawback, right? So when you got a listing out there and it's out there across the internet, right? Whether it be on Google, Pinterest. So you have these links. They said the one thing they noticed on items that they was ending and selling similar on, because they had items on Pinterest, the link was broke. So that link would not go back to the item. So because you ended it, right? And so basically you sold a whole new different item. Similar, but different, right? So it's not the same link. And so they feel like it had a negative effect. So they stopped doing it. Now, I don't know, but it was a good point to make that when you do, or at least something to consider, if you end and sell similar, you're killing that link that's already out there. Now it might not matter, or it may matter. I don't know. That was a point that I wanted to make sure I brought up, because that was actually the first people that I heard actually bring something like that up. So I thought it was a good point too. Makes sense. It makes sense, right? And just because something didn't sell over 6 months doesn't mean it's going to sell because you end the sell it similar either. I think that's and I really think that's something that eBay heard on YouTube, and they want to put a damper on that. I don't think they want people recycling items. I really don't. I really don't. And I think despite the few glitches, you got to ask yourself, if you have to end and sell similar a lot, is that the type of item you even want in your store? I don't know. Just saying, just putting these questions out there. Not saying it to mean that anybody, is doing something wrong or got the wrong types of items. I'm just saying, if an item has to be in and sold similar 2-3 times, then you might just want to get rid of it, honestly, and find something else. But I just want to know when we as sellers just became okay with giving eBay extra 10% in fees. How many? Well, I don't think none of us are okay with it, right? You think, okay, 10% in fees. Or no, yeah, you pay 10% for the category, depending on the category. Some categories are more than 10%, some a little bit less. And let's just say you promote it. You see, you do a dynamic, 10%, right? They're going to make sure you're on that high side, I got to believe. That's 20%. You already a little over 26. Shoot, you might as well do FBA. You might as well just change up your whole model and do FBA at that point. People complain about Amazon. Here's the crazy thing to me sometimes about a lot of eBay sellers, especially nowadays, right? They complain about Amazon's fees and Amazon's rules and this and that, but you paying eBay all this money in fees and promoted. eBay's taking down listing without even giving you a reason for why they took it down. At least Amazon will give you a reason and recourse. They give you a reason and recourse, 2 R's. eBay don't give you nothing. Oh, we just took this down and you got to deal with it, right? But if if you just navigate the way you're supposed to navigate, you really don't have to worry about it. And at this point in the game, if any of y'all been doing this for a while, you got to have a little bit of capital saved up, right? You got to have enough that you can at least start tasting what else is out there if you haven't already. And I just think it's a mistake to continue to only stick on eBay, especially if you only selling used items. I just think in the long run, your life is only going to get much, much more difficult. I'm just saying. I could be wrong. I'm not saying you can't make a living selling used stuff on eBay, because I think you will be. I think the amount of effort that it's going to take is going to continue to go up. The amount of effort. That's all I think, is that it used to take minimal effort. Now it's taking more. And I think as we continue to go forth, these used items are going to take more and more effort for various reasons. It's going to take more and more effort. It's just my thought. Let me know what y'all think about that. You think I'm crazy, or you think I got a point? eBay 3 times the work. yeah, maybe 4 or 5 times the work, man. Shoot. How many years were people making sales, not promoting, or only one? Yeah, no, I know exactly. A lot of years people was making money, but you know why we don't now? Because they changed the algorithm. They changed the algorithm to purposefully suppress listings that aren't promoted at certain rates. I'm convinced of it, man. There's no way you go from an algorithm in a system that people can sell everyday goods just fine with no problems, right? Everyday goods. And now all of a sudden, you mean to tell me nobody wants that stuff? Now all of a sudden they don't get any views? No. They rigged this. They rigged it. They rigged the system. It's rigged. I mean, they flat out rigged it, and they told us. They made almost $500 million off of this. Almost $500 million. What was it? 350 something million? It's rigged, man. And it's going to stay rigged. As long as they keep seeing those type of revenues, it's going to stay rigged. That's just the fact of life. So at this point, what are you going to do? That's the question. Ain't what they going to do, because they're going to keep doing what they're doing because it's working. And we can sit here and say, well, eventually sellers will get tired of it, but I honestly don't think they will. I don't. I think the guys or the businesses that can afford it are going to continue to do it, because they're going to gain market share from those that drop off, and they would just love for everybody to kind of drop off and quit because that would bring more traffic to them. So I don't think serious sellers, I don't think they care as much, to be honest with you. I really don't. They just look at it as another expense. I mean, unfortunately for the small guy and gal, unfortunately, that means you might have to take a new approach. Again, I think you can still make money and make a living, but it just may take a new approach. What are you going to do? But don't, I don't want to say panic, but I don't think you want to stand around and wait too long either to see what happens if you're already struggling. If it was me, and if I was whichever y'all out there that's having problems with sales, I would really consider and probably start branching out into a different category if the category you're selling in is seeing a lot of issues. If it's not, don't change nothing. But also don't do that until you take the necessary steps to at least try to do the things that we see the algorithm giving preference to, right? Maybe your items need to change. Maybe you need to source differently, but also listing. Look at your listing quality report. You got enough images? We got to start adding more thorough descriptions and things like that. But also, I'm going to be a proponent of this. Branch out. You got 2 whole different selling platforms out there that do just fine. You don't have to deal with any of the stuff that eBay is doing. If your only reason for not doing it is it may be quote unquote stricter, or in Walmart's case, you won't get really much support. It don't matter. The sales make up for it. I guarantee you most of y'all wouldn't even be sitting there talking about you ain't getting no sales if you was on Amazon and Walmart. Oh, man. Look, at this rate, with the promoted and the fees on eBay, it's probably cheaper to sell on Amazon. Look, Amazon is $40 a month flat, right? I'm paying, what, I got a premium store? What's the premium store? $60, right? Am I right? It's like 59 or something. So I'm paying for an eBay premium store. I'm about to increase my promoted to dynamic with a 10% cap. By the time I get done, it's way more expensive than FBA and my $40 a month Amazon fee. And then way, way more expensive than Walmart, because Walmart don't even charge you. Only thing they charge is the referral fee, and that's depending on the category and the price of the item. So anything under $10, depending on the category, is like 10%ish somewhere. And then anything over $10, it's, it's over 10%, up to like 15, 16, 17%, somewhere around there. But that's all they charge. That's it. That's all they charge. And I know they got glitches and issues, but I tell you what, man, it has added this year. I will do over $100,000 on Walmart alone with way less work, despite the glitches. There've been some headaches in Walmart, despite the glitches. Over $100,000 just on Walmart, with way less work. To do that same, because I did over $100,000 on eBay last year when I wasn't doing Walmart as much, because I didn't get into Walmart till around this time last year, right? It was actually probably a couple months ago, but I still did that much on eBay, but way more work. And I think that if I had still been doing it on eBay this year, it would probably take me double the work. And I don't even want to say double listings, because I don't think the amount of listing, but it would have. I would have to put more out there, but then that would have just been more for me to have to go back and fix because of their issues. And so you see, like, it makes up for it, man. I know this. My plan has always been to kind of have like a 30% split on each, right? 3-6-ish, somewhere around there, but not to have too much invested in the one platform. And I'm kind of there. I think eBay is probably, though, around the 10 or 15% range. I wanted it to be 25, but, kept ticking me off, man, with this bull crap. Let me see. Let me catch up with some of these. Let me see. I saw AM eBay commercial with fashion model from the 60s promoting high heel or high end handbags. They definitely put money in a specific category. Oh yeah, you'll see that, and you'll see the eBay motor commercials all day long, man, or the Rolex commercial. You don't see much else besides that. Like that's the only thing. How many people are looking for that stuff? Seriously though, how many people are looking for high end fashion bags and Rolexes or something like? How many people? Seriously, eBay needs to promote the everyday items that people want that's going to bring traffic. And then maybe once they get there and they see the big banner on the front page with the Rolexes, maybe they buy something, or I don't know, but that's not the majority of people, man. I feel like they are just out of touch, way out of touch, way out of touch. You have to promote 10% now. eBay has much higher fees than the other reselling platforms, and we are just okay with that. Yeah, no, they do 10% and over, and then they want to charge you a percentage on the shipping and a percentage on this, and most people don't look at the amount that they pay, and I guarantee you, for most people, by the time it's all said and done, you're paying 15 or 20% anyway, if not more. Anyway. So why not? Why not try something else? Can't hurt. Dollar per hour is an employee thinking, not an owner way of thinking. Did I miss something? Let me see. I missed something. $1 per hour is definitely not that much. That's for daggone sure. Meaning hourly rate. Yeah, no. I mean, if you're just talking about how much you make per hour, for sure, you always want to try to maximize the amount that you're making per hour. If I'm like kind of talking about in reference to what you're saying, but I'm not looking to make no $10 an hour, right? I can do that. I can actually make more than that at Taco Bell, but when I say I don't worry about my hours, it's because what I'm doing is working. And so I know how much I make, right? That's why I said if you're struggling, then you want to kind of fix whatever it is that is not going right. But I don't really make it my goal to work 15 hours a week so I can come here on and tell y'all, yeah, I'm making $200,000, $300,000 a year and I only work 10 hours a week. You know, that really ain't. First of all, I'm probably a workaholic. So even if I could run this business and make all that money in 10 hours a week, I would find something else to do. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I would find something else to do because I can't just sit around, man. So that's why I said, like, as long as I'm productive and getting out of my time what I expect to get, I feel like it's a good investment because I can't sit around at all. I gotta stay on the go. Unless I'm like spending time with the family and stuff, but I used to promote at 20%, but I was priced twice as high as competition. It worked for a couple years. 20% is high, Urethra. Jeez. 20%. Dynamic pricing is super expensive. Yeah, but you can put a cap. Just cap it. I like 10. I'm gonna try it. I don't know. I'm gonna try it from now till so I just set it up today. So yeah, the first I'm gonna try it from now until maybe January. I'm gonna go through that whole because like sales still are pretty high. So I'm gonna do it for maybe 3 months, unless I really don't see like if it look like it's like crappy and it ain't working, I'll end it early. But I gotta try it at least from now until December though. I have to. Why? Because it's the holidays and I want to maximize whatever I can maximize off of eBay. Because coming up here next year, I'm going to be making some changes. I'm going to be making some changes in how I interact with Amazon and Walmart. And I'm also going to be making some changes in what I put up on eBay. So I just want to get rid of some stuff. I want to kind of get an idea of what's working with them. So because once I got an idea of what direction they're really going in and how their algorithm is working, then I can have a much better idea of what sort of items I need to be putting up on eBay. Not that I'm like clueless or any of us are, right? But like we just want like at least a general understanding of, all right, I see what now. Like, right, because for years you can come on here on eBay and we kind of knew, right? You can list every day, you do this, you do A, B, C, and boom, you get in sales. And it was kind of like clockwork, right? There was only a few things you had to do right in sales, but then, not in the too distant future, that kind of got turned on its head, and we all sitting here, wondering what the heck is going on, man. But I think the dust will settle, hopefully soon here, and we'll be able to have an idea of how we should proceed. How we should proceed is that's why any changes you make shouldn't be with anything solid in mind yet. However, unless you're like, I think that was Miss Lachey who said she's going to kind of wait, and through the holidays and stuff like that. But if you're trying to maximize these holidays and the items you got are not selling, you may have to just source something else for now, get the revenue, and figure it out as we go, right? All right, let me see. Feel like, let me see. It's like AI dumbed it down, honestly, even though it's supposed to be intelligent. Well, can't disagree with that. Cannot disagree with that. But I'm wondering though if it's the fact that there's so much. If I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, I'm wondering if it's the fact that there's so much information to sort through and to classify and to do whatever that stuff does. I don't know. I wonder if that's the reason, Because one thing for sure, it definitely did dumb it down. It ain't working. Not that good. But then how can you explain, like, and all of us, I think, have experienced this to some extent. How can you explain going a day, 2 days with nothing, crickets, right? Crickets. You can hear the daggone grass breathe. And then all of a sudden, sales, sales out the wazoo. How do you explain that? See, and this is the issue. You just want some consistency. I don't need sales out the wazoo every day because I know that's not realistic. All I'm saying is I used to be able to predict the amount of sales I would get based on what I was listing and how much. Now it doesn't even, none of that matters. So I think that is the main issue. It's like I'm putting this up, but how do I know that this is that this is what works? Right? Is this the type of things y'all going to give preference to or not? I think that's the main issue, right? That's the main issue. How can you make a solid plan and proceed confidently if the platform is schizo, right? They need to talk to Dr. Phil or somebody, man. Can't figure out their life. It's messing with a bunch of other people's lives and livelihoods and all types of crazy stuff. eBay confirmed that after 90 days, your listing goes dead. And after 180 days, they do not show it. If that is the case, that is crazy. I don't know. I heard somebody else say that, and I can't remember who. But if that's the case, I feel like not everything is a 90-day item. That some things got slower sell through. So, excuse me. So to suppress it, which is what they're doing, suppressing it, because not all things promoted is going to work for. I mean, I had items that I would promote above the recommended and still didn't sell until I dropped the price. So the promoted didn't get it to sell. I dropped the promoted back down to 2.5%, then dropped the price, then the item sell. I still think the algorithm's giving preference to price even over promoted. It's just my opinion. I think price is going to beat out even promoted if it's a desirable item. That's what I think. You can tell me if you disagree. Yeah, I've searched my items and links were dead saying item wasn't available anymore. Yeah, so what type of effect may that have on your store if if you do that often? I would think that would have a bad effect. I tried the intense end and sell similar cycle way early in the year. I think it had an adverse effect on my stats such as conversion and in my general store score in the algorithm. I mean, the question is a short-term bump worth a long-term slump? Is a short-term bump worth a long-term slump? Because it looked like that's what Sell Summer might do. I don't know, just being a jerk, but 5% cat rate, and I consider it's advertising fee for me. Yeah, 5% ain't bad. 5% definitely is not bad. You're gonna be above probably 95% of most people in the category you're selling in. You gotta think, right? Q3 report will reinforce their success in this new direction. I agree, 100%. Man, all of us waiting to see this Q3 report. I know Amazon's came out. They doing good. They doing good, man. I want to say they was up 13%, something like that. Amazon got more going on than eBay too, but Amazon was not down. That's for sure. But it wasn't just revenue, or it wasn't just advertising revenue driving their increase in overall revenue either, like it was for eBay last quarter. So I think that's a lot too, right? Because you don't want to see, for us anyway, there's nothing to excite us about eBay having an increase in revenue due to charging us more. Like what? Hold up. No, how is that helping us? How is that working? Like, we want to see an increase in eBay's overall revenue due to more people coming on the platform buying stuff. Like, they tout that, but basically they tout in the fact that they kind of just like taking us and just squeezing. It's like, are we supposed to sit here happy and take it, right? No, I want to see that same type of increase in revenue, but because there's more buyers on the platform. Because if there's more buyers on the platform and you got that increase, and then people have issues with their sales, well, then we know it ain't really eBay, right? It ain't eBay. It's maybe something that the seller, him or herself, is doing as an individual. That you can deal with. But I can't deal with you making all this extra money off of me and then and then out here advertising that. But then I got to keep on paying all these extra fees for less traffic. And you want to suppress me even more now because I don't want to pay more. I don't want to put more into the pool. So now you want to push my listings down for no good reason. BS, man. BS. I want to keep this PG as possible. Also, times are different than 2 years ago. People do not have free money and have choices because stores are open and customers change. There's some truth to that. Well, hold on. There's a lot of truth to that. Because 2 years ago, people still had a lot of extra money. So, yeah. But, I will say, it shouldn't be as slow as it is on that platform because it's not showing itself to be the same on other platforms. And by others, I only mean Amazon and Walmart. I don't mean the other ones. Like, I guess you can kind of maybe throw Poshmark in there, but maybe not as much, right? I'm judging by the big three. I'm gonna call them the big three, man. This is like the car dealers and stuff, right? Ford and all them, and GM. It's the big three: Amazon, Walmart, and eBay. Well, Amazon, eBay, and Walmart, if you want to put them in order. But that's the only thing I'm judging it by. And as of right now, eBay seems to be the only platform whose revenue is not increasing because of an increase in buyers. Those other two are increasing because they got more buyers on the platform. They're finding more ways to bring buyers on the platform. You got Prime Day. You got Walmart, their version of Prime Day. You got all types. Walmart do these promotionals where they'll discount your item. And if a buyer buys it, they'll still pay you the difference. I mean, eBay really don't got nothing like that going on. They don't have any magical innovation for bringing in new blood to the platform. All their magical innovations got to do with draining our bank accounts, and that's about it. Flipping goodies, what's up, bro? Wondering if you're going to show up, man. Hey, I figure out how to make mod too, man. So if you want to be a mod, let me know. Just in case I get some crazy people around. Eventually you're gonna get some crazies around here, But what's up? Hope everything's going well. Let's see. People are having to promote 10%, then they have to raise their prices, which you think will upset the buyers. But people are not raising their prices. That's the thing. I really haven't seen any increase in prices on any platform as of yet. I don't know about y'all, but I really haven't seen nobody raising prices. Amazon, Walmart, eBay. All in all, all right. In my categories, I don't know about any of your other guys' categories. In my categories, for the most part, things are selling for the same price that they've been selling for a couple years ago or so. So despite the fact that, in reference to just eBay, I have not seen any of my competition raising prices to keep up with the increase either in inflation or in additional or higher amounts of promoted listings, which is the issue for smaller sellers if you can't afford it. But I haven't seen enough to justify increasing your price. And then you only price yourself out of the game because guess what? You're not going to get promoted. You're not going to get pushed to the top. Whether somebody doing a search by price or whether it's just eBay putting the best deal in front of the customer, where you going to show up at? So it's hard to jump out there because you're going to be one of the only ones out there. Nobody else swimming in that pool. It's like somebody peed in the pool and everybody want to get out. Nobody wants to swim in that pool. Everybody want to play the higher fee game and selling stuff for the same amount. So the only thing you can kind of do is one, find items with a higher average sale price, which is something I've been working on slowly but surely, or two, find a way to get your stuff cheaper. One or two, or you can do both, higher average sale price and cheaper. But you got to figure out which one makes sense for you and do one or the other. You on all three? Yeah, me too, man. Me too. Spread those risks, man. And also make it easier to make more money. Walmart Pro Seller getting up to 15% off fees. I know, man. And I had it. And then they took it after the next month. What did happen? Something with the you know how they be. What's the what's the percentage of your catalog that sales? I don't know, something like that. My percentage fell low, man. So not a pro seller. Get Walmart, but I'm still getting sales though. But that pro seller, listen, here's the thing. Here's what you need. You need Fulfilled by Walmart badge with the pro seller badge. You will not get out that buy box, man. I'm telling you. If you got the pro seller and Fulfilled by Walmart, you pretty much own that buy box unless Walmart jump on that listing or unless another seller do and they got the same thing and they a pro seller too and they underprice you. Other than that, you're going to own the buy box. Nobody's going to get you out of that buy box unless you sell out. That's what I've been seeing. And it's crazy. Hey, Ed, I meant to ask on Walmart. I know you need reseller certificate to sell, but do you need invoices for your items? I source RA and wholesale, and I don't. No, not yet. You don't. Walmart is starting to gate more categories and items, though. I just had somebody message me, some dude I've been talking to in Idris. He's in the group, and me and him talk a few times. Walmart's asking him for some invoices to ungate, not for nothing wrong or to suspend him, but he's trying to get ungated. So now I got to get with him and see what that process is like, because I have not gone through it, because I haven't tried to get ungated in any of the categories they've gated, but eventually I might. But as far as just getting on the platform and getting started, you don't need any special invoices. I don't know what categories you want to sell in. Most of the stuff is probably going to be ungated. I know a lot of people say they can't get their listings to show up. I've had people say that. In fact, Taylor Exchange, I was just watching his video. He said he can't get. I don't know what category he's selling. It happens sometimes. Sometimes Walmart go through these updates, and it'll happen that you can't get your listings to show, but you just give it some time, and it'll eventually propagate. They also have an activity feed where you can go in and you'll see sometimes there's errors, and you can go fix those errors and get it to show. There's different ways that you can get it to show. Sometimes you go into the listing and like you're going to edit it, and even though if you're not the original creator of the listing, it'll show you the errors on the listing. You can fix those errors and save, and then your listing will show up. So there's ways to get it to show up. But no, that was the long way to say no, you don't need invoices. You can just get in there and get started, man. But if you do got issues with your listing showing, you can message me and I'll see if I can help you fix it. Most of the time I can get it to show. And sometimes I can't, but most of the time I can. Most of the time. Don't know if they accept store receipts. If you're talking about Walmart, you don't need either to get started on there. But as far as getting ungated, I don't know. I don't know their process yet. I don't know their process. Amazon, of course, you need invoices. You can use store receipts if you get an IP claim most of the time. If it's from Walmart, I just had to use a Walmart receipt because a company, and there's like multiple people on this listing, and they gave me an IP claim. But Walmart saves everything in your account. I took a screenshot of the purchase with a screenshot of the receipt, and I submitted it. And Amazon took the IP claim off. Well, we at an hour and 11 minutes, guys and gals, and I really, really, really appreciate this. Basically, no fees. Yep. I appreciate everybody that came in. Let me try to get through these last couple real quick. Let me see what we got. Sorry, my YouTube app keeps glitching and lagging, so it's causing me to accidentally hit the send button early. No problem. I sold a used Lionel train building on Walmart this week for 2 times the price. Hey, flipping goodies, man. You be killing them over there. Dude, get in a group and message me so we can get on like a shared screen thing. I want to talk to you about some stuff. So if you can click the link of the group that I got in the banner somewhere on the channel and message me in the group. I wanted to talk to you about some stuff. Please and thank you. Nice. How do you get Walmart Pro Seller? There's a few things, and they actually just added a few things. So there was only like 5 metric that they had, and they just added a bunch. I wonder if my account's still open. Hold on, y'all. Let me see something. If I gotta log in, I ain't gonna worry about it, but let me see. Nope, I don't gotta log in. So to be a pro seller on Walmart, be a pro seller on Walmart. They check your seller accountability, on-time delivery rate, seller accountable cancellation rate. You got to have more than 250 orders in the past 90 days. Your seller response rate has to be above 95%. And then the 2 that they added was actual delivery to promised delivery gap is less than or equal to 2 calendar days, which is straight BS, man. I don't even know why they would add that. And then they added weekend delivery enable. So they want you to enable weekend delivery. I'm not enabling it, so I'm never. Oh, and that's exactly why they took my pro seller, because of those 2 categories right there. And then the other one is lag time is 1 business day or less on all items. So I meet the requirements in all but those 2. Actual delivery to promised delivery gap is less than or equal to 2 calendar days, and weekend delivery enable. I'm not enabling weekend delivery. I'm not doing that. So I guess I'll never be a pro seller again, as long as they keep those 2 things on there. Where we at? Let me finish this up. Average promo rate 3.5%. Miss Lachey, that is not bad, actually. That is not bad. That's kind of where I've been hovering at, 2.5, 3.5. But I'm about to take the dive into the dynamic. Wish me luck, y'all. I'm going dynamic on them. Going dynamic. Get it, man. Get it. I'm gonna see what happened over the holidays. I hope it's worth it. I really do. I hope it's worth it. I sell clothes and a lot of newer tags. If you sell a lot of newer tags clothes, Maya, try it out. Look, it can't hurt. It can't hurt. What's the worst that can happen? You get on there and they don't sell. And they ain't selling on eBay lately, right? So what you got to lose? But you might get on there. Hey, man, I know. Look, I have not come across anyone who has actually gotten on Walmart and start selling that regrets it. I'll just say that, right? Well, y'all, I'm gonna get up off of here. I really do appreciate it. I didn't get through all. Let me see. Just add Saturday. I don't know if I want to add Saturday flipping goodies. I might though. USPS delivers then. I'll try it, man. I hope it don't. I don't want it to cut down on my lag time though. You know what I mean? The other trick is use Walmart shipping in your. I know that. But they cost more for like anything over £1. But I do know that. Use Walmart. And then they don't ding you. What's up, J Rod? I'm glad I didn't leave. I just was talking about you earlier, man. How you was talking about focusing on the customer and not the algorithm. I think a lot of people should definitely do that. I had an invoice and Walmart told me you must wait 6 months to sell. My reply was, I must buy for 6 months before I can sell. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about exactly. When I got on, I was able to list and sell immediately. So I'm not sure what you mean if you had to wait 6 months to get ungated. But I've never been asked for an invoice. And then when I got on, I was able to list and sell immediately, except in a few categories that kind of some of them opened up to me since then, and some haven't. But I don't know. But listen, guys, I'm going to let y'all go for the night. My computer's about to die and my charger is not over here. So appreciate y'all stopping in. Do me a favor. If you didn't hit the like button, hit it now. And I will see y'all again next week, Wednesday night, 6 o'clock. Make sure you subscribe if anybody's here that's not subscribed. And if you got any questions, if you need help for Walmart, y'all can join the group and I can get on the camera with y'all, especially if you can't get listings to the show. That's kind of why I made it, for stuff like that, not necessarily to post. But join that group if you need help, or if you need help for anything. I don't mind giving up a little time and donating that if you're serious. But if you're not serious, please don't waste either of our time. Thank you. Y'all have a good night, and I'll see y'all next week.